Hi, it's Ashley Needles here. I honestly have no idea what I'm going to talk about because, well, somebody just said that they missed me making videos, and I've struggled my entire time online to make videos because I always feel dumb and stupid, and I don't know, like people like my videos, but I just they're a lot of work. I do like a million takes every time I put something up, and I spend hours making the video and then hours rendering and putting it up and whatever. I really need to get a better upload speed one of these days. Yeah, that would be nice. Um, so what's been on my mind lately? I wrote to a blog today about, love and stuff. I forget what all it was about. It was basically like, hey, I'm happy being single and not sure if it's worth it to get into a relationship because I feel healthy emotionally and it's like, but recently a friend of mine went through a heartbreak and I was really sad about that because I really want this person to be happy, and every time there's a breakup in this person's life, it like devastates them. Um, and yes, surprisingly, it's a guy. Believe it or not, breakups are actually harder for guys in my experience than they are for women. I don't know why that is, but um, yeah, guys get this like um, rap of being cold or whatever. But from my experience, men are very emotional, like way more emotional than I am. Like, don't get me wrong, I cry during movies and stuff. I have a very soft heart, but I don't really lose my shit, my temper or whatever. I like cope with things really well. Um, some people tell me I'm like I've been voted like to be the most emotionally stable person in a lot of situations, which I think is funny. I'm like, really? I don't see myself that way, but whatever. Mostly I've just had to deal with a lot, so I guess I'm just good with dealing with things. Does that count as emotionally stable? That's up on my screen. Anyway, so my keys to mental health are I see every challenge, every situation I get in as an opportunity to become better. My divorce, holy cow, that exploded my filters, the blinders I had on about myself. It really made me re-examine everything and be open to change and open to becoming a much happier, better person. So I have to say, divorce kind of rocks. I mean, it doesn't start off that way, but in the end, it just is like the best thing in the whole world that you can possibly go through. At least it was for me. I needed it. Yeah, I know, not what you're used to hearing from people, but well, I mean, some people say, why are divorces so expensive? Because they're worth it, and that's true too. But it's also just a great time, a great thing to come into and shake it up to where you're able to truly see yourself clearly and be like, oh, I did this and I can see where I screwed up. And so that's what divorce did for me. Because before that, I was like, no, no, I'm perfect. My shit doesn't stink. Sorry for swearing. Um, yeah, I probably need to edit that out, but I'm bad at editing, so I'll just mark it as adult and call it good. Um, hmm. So, what's been going on in my life? Well, I still don't feel comfortable talking about my life. I mean, you guys know that there were like a lot of death threats and stuff after like during the whole like Empower Network collapse. So, hopefully you can understand why I'm hesitant to talk about my life. A lot of people just don't get it. They're like, but blah, and I'm like, yeah, well, when you get like 50 to 60 death threats in a single hour and 50 to 60 death threats every single day, you get a little uncomfortable with the world. You become kind of a shut-in, or at least I did. I don't know. People are like, "Oh, I thought you were still in network marketing." It's like, no, I'm not. I do something, the most solitary activities I can do. So like, I trade stocks, I write books, and I've been so comfortable just being completely like in my own little bubble. So now I like go to the grocery store and it's like people are all wearing masks and it just takes me a second to be like, oh yeah, coronavirus. Shoot, I forgot about that. Um, yeah, I've just been in my own little bubble, my own little world. I can't really tell you a lot of the other stuff I've been doing, but it's kept me really busy. So I haven't really been writing books. That was kind of a lie. I should be writing books. I want to be writing books, but not really doing it. Heather died, and it just kind of, I don't know, I loved her, and she and I, we had this rift because, she was super Mormon, and then I became an erotic author, and just kind of sort of ended our contact in life there for a while. I mean, I knew we were going to get over it. It wasn't like this huge rift or anything. It was like we had a major fallout, but anyway, yeah, it was there. So I've had a hard time writing since she died because, I always figure there's time to fix things, time to do stuff, and there's just not. It's You got to fix things with people when you can. Um, so yeah, don't delay on fixing your relationships. My advice, because you'll regret it. One of the really cool things, I got really good during my divorce at my communication skills. Like, I'm able to be really kind and loving and supportive, even when I disagree with somebody. And I really like this skill that I've learned. Like, it's probably my favorite life skill that I've ever learned. Yeah, when you can be like, you know, I disagree with you, but you're still awesome and I still care about you. So, it's cool that we disagree. Um, let's see what else. I wanted to talk about what relationships, skyscrapers, and exercise have in common. I was writing a blog about it, but I couldn't quite get it right, so I'll just put up this video and call it good because I really don't want to write that blog. Yeah. So, exercise is something you have to do daily. You have to put effort into it every single day. And a relationship is really the same, And with a skyscraper, like you get these massive skyscrapers, but they take time to build, and you have to have a foundation, and you have to have plans, and you have to work things out ahead of time. You have to be like, okay, what are we going to do with this? And what are we going to do with that? And, what kind of, we're going to put windows here. We need a support wall here, and blah. And when I was like going through divorce and going through these last 6 years, I went through relationship books, psychology books, neuropsychology books, like all this stuff. And it made me realize, well, all the stuff I did wrong, for one, which is why I don't think anyone should ever have a relationship with me ever. But uh, yeah, I'm like at this point where I'm like, yeah, I kind of suck as a partner. So then I'm like trying to overcompensate and still doing stuff wrong. And I don't know. I feel like I'm working at it, but I'm not quite right with it right now. So I don't think I really should be in a relationship with anyone right now. That said, I've been on a date with a guy. We've been talking every day. He's like 2 hours away though, so I don't know if it's gonna go anywhere, but maybe. We'll see. I'm really not into the whole long distance thing. I really like to have the person I'm with to be somebody I can knock on their door at 3 a.m. and have them open it. Because I've had that. I've had that person who was there at 3 a.m. and who I could go to for anything. And a relationship without that support structure in place, I don't know, it's kind of useless to me. It's like I don't really care if it ends because it didn't keep me stable to begin with. It didn't keep me structurally, emotionally sound to begin with. So really, uh, I really thrive in relationships where there's an emotional support structure, and I support the other person and they support me back. Um, but again, I kind of suck at relationships. uh, yeah, I don't know exactly how to get that figured out. I'm able to now acknowledge, hey, I did this, this, and this wrong, and zaza, and but I don't know. I've also been very attracted to very damaged people. Like if somebody's damaged, just like, ooh, let me help you, let me be there for you, and doing that, it gets exhausting because the entire relationship is about the other person, and there's no room for you in it. Like there's really no room for me in most of the relationships I've had. Not all of them. Some of them have been totally about me. Yeah, but like once I became healthy, I started wanting to lift up others, because other people did that for me. So I'm like, hey, let me reach down in the dirt and pull you up, and let me, be your cheerleader and help you, and whatever you need, I'm here for you. And then I forget about myself and I get just sucked dry. And I do it to myself. And like I'll occasionally be like, "Hey, I need this." And all the times when it's in a relationship where the other person and I've been nurturing them for months and months and months and just giving and giving, giving, giving until finally I'm like, "Okay, well, I need this." They're just like, "I can't do that for you. Why you're asking way too much from me?" And it's like, "Oh, sorry." It's like, "Well, I paid your rent and I did this and I did that for you and now you can't come pick me up when my car's broken." Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So those kind of relationships are not exactly healthy. You got to have some reciprocity where both people feel supported and strong and able. Yeah, cool. Reciprocity is badass. See, I'm swearing. I've been watching The Ranch with my neighbor. Oh my gosh, such a funny show, but so much swearing in it. And I've kind of got a potty mouth, so it's just part of life. Sometimes I speak very clean, and sometimes I don't. I grew up Mormon, so then when I get around Mormon people, I stop myself from swearing, and then I get them out in the other real world, and it's like, oh, you said it. Yeah, I can swear like a sailor when I've been in the real world long enough. Um, so let's see, what else was I going to talk about? Oh, so when you get into love, you shouldn't just like jump in and like give your heart immediately because you're just going to get burned that way. You're not going to be able to build something that lasts. You need to take your time with your partner, plan things out, as I was saying. So, like, plan out your boundaries, like what's okay to do with the opposite gender. Because if you don't have these clear cut rules and you're somebody like me who's a complete idiot and great at screwing things up, you might screw things up. Just saying. Um, yeah. So after I had this one relationship before, this guy got mad at me, flirting with a guy I've never met, was forever away, and I'm like, hey, I have a boyfriend, but I'm like, but if I didn't, I'd be down, type of thing. And my boyfriend at the time was really insecure, and he told me he was insecure, but he hadn't like laid it down exactly what that meant. And I'm clueless. I'm a ditz when it comes to like dealing with people. I'm like so socially inept. So anyway, he broke up with me. Have to say, he was one of the more involved relationships I've had since the divorce. Like, he's one of the ones that I was like, oh, I could see a future with you. And there's only been him and one other guy that I felt that way with. So, yeah. But he's married to somebody else right now, and I'm like, I wish her all the luck in the world because I couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't make things work with him, so I wish her all the luck in the world. I hope they're very happy. He deserves it. When I heard him, I'm like, oh, I suck. I totally suck. um, but yeah, so then the next guy I was with after him, I'm like, okay, so I am okay if you hold hands with another woman. I am okay if you do this. I'm okay if you do that. I'm not okay if you do this. I'm not okay if you do that. And blah. And so that's how my next relationship went. I was a little overboard on that, but it didn't matter anyway because that guy had no emotional support structure for me at all. He was just like, hey, it's my birthday. Oh, well, it's Thanksgiving with my family. I can't come see you for 5 minutes. I'm not going to see you for 5 minutes. I have my kids here. Oh, thanks. I canceled all my plans so I could spend my birthday with you because you said you want to spend my birthday with me. And great, thanks. So that was a real winner. He was a great friend, really easygoing guy, very good when we were together, but he just did not make space for me in his life at all. So I'm like, see ya. He was a good guy though. Just, I need a guy who has space in his life for me and makes me a priority, just occasionally. Like, my uncle blows his brains out and he's like, no, I can't come give you a hug right now. I'm with my kids. It's like, you can't find a babysitter for 5 minutes. Okay. So it's one of the reasons why I'm like, I'm really tepid about like dating single dads. I'm like, like if you have kids, do you really have room for me in your life? Really? Like, do you? I don't know. Um, So yeah, that's something I've had to learn recently about the whole dating single dads thing. Before I was a teenager, I didn't really think about it when I was dating, and a young adult, most of the guys I knew didn't have kids, so it's a new experience in the 30s to like date guys with kids. And I've dated a few guys with kids, and some of them are like, "Hey, be mom to my kids," like within the third date, and others of them are like, "My kid's not meeting you for forever," and Honestly, I prefer those. And then, but then there's ones who's just like their kid is like around, and then their kids get pissed off at them because like we're in like a couple bubble and everything's new and exciting, so they're paying more attention to me than they are their kid, which not a good thing to do. And I know it's not a good thing to do, but I'm not going to tell them how to be a parent or how to date. It's like you've been doing this. This is your life. So if you're going to ignore your kid to hang out with me, okay, cool, I guess. But so then their kids get jealous and they're like, "Oh, I've got to break up with you. My kid cried because you're in my life and she's jealous of you." And like, okay, yeah, not my fault, but I could have told you that was going to happen because of what was going on, but sure. So that's fun. I'm like, great. I don't know how to deal with that situation. I mean, do I just like let them F up our, do I just let them mess up our relationship? There we go. There's a word. Do I just let them mess up the relationship, or do I be like, hey, dude, your kid over there needs you. Go pay attention. You know, um, it's awkward. It's horrible. It's awful. I don't know. Maybe I should just not date dads. A lot of people in my child-free groups are like, yeah, I refuse to date single parents. And I'm like, it depends. It depends on the situation. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I took all these childhood development classes and stuff because I was always terrified of like ever getting pregnant because I grew up in Utah. So it's like if somebody breathes on you, you're gonna get pregnant, or if you even look at a guy, you're gonna get pregnant. It's pretty much how I was raised with sex ed. Um, I was terrified of getting pregnant. I was more terrified of becoming my parents or my dad and stuff to my kids. So I took all these child development classes. I learned a lot of parenting techniques, and so I got really good with kids, and I learned a lot about them and stuff. And people used to always be like, "Oh, babysit my kids" and stuff, and I just kind of got sick of it. I got wore out from it. It's like I would love to. I would go to hang out with my friends, and they'd be like, "Oh, you're here, babysit." And I would never actually adult time with my friends. 'Cause they'd be like, "Here's my kids, take them, so I can go take a nap, or so I can go do this, or so I can do that." My husband and I haven't been on a date for ages. Thank you so much for coming over so you can watch our kids. It's like you invited me over to watch your kids. I thought we were playing games, dude. Sure. Okay, I'll watch your kids. Yeah, but it's life in Utah. That's what it was. So I got burned out on kids before I ever had any because I was just always babysitting everybody else's kids. And I'm like, they're like, they love you. You're so good with them. And I'm like, thanks. Glad I can be a toy for children, not treated like a person. Um, yeah, I got really burnt out. I knew from the time I was like 4 or 5 years old that I didn't want kids, but then I got married and I thought, okay, well, my husband wants kids, and I believed in honoring my husband, so I was like, okay, maybe I'll have one with him. And so I got a dog first to be like, what kind of dad are you going to be? And anyway, it didn't go well, so we did not have kids together. And now I'm like, I'm 36, and I believe in being in a marriage for 5 years before bringing children into it because of statistics and how it works. And so much healthier to give it your marriage time to settle in, give you and your significant other time to really like get to know how to be with each other and work out the kinks of the marriage before you bring a child into that. Because marriage is hard, and you add a child to it, you have an 85% chance of divorce if you add a child within the first year of marriage. 85% chance of divorce. So I always thought you should, it goes down significantly if you wait 5 years before having a kid in a marriage. Well, I'm 36. I have no desire to be a single mom ever. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just not going to have kids. I don't want to have kids when I'm 40. So, yeah, that's how that went. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to be child free. I'm good with that. I mean, if I won like a bajillion dollars or something, or somehow became super rich, whatever, if my books took off, if I became a best-selling author and made money like E.L. James, then I'd consider fostering or, adopting a child. But I never actually had a desire for kids. It's more like I feel like it would be an obligation at that point. If you have the resources to do for the world and to do for people, you really should. And since I'm good with kids, I feel like that's a resource I should, if I had the money to take care of a kid, I should use. Um, So I should talk about the whole Angie situation at some point. I need to finish that whole blog. It's just there's a lot to it that I don't really want to write about, so I've been avoiding it. Um, but I really got to get over my blocks. I really need to like start coping with things through writing because I used to do that like in high school. That was my go-to thing of like how to work things out is I'd keep a diary and I would go to a therapist and I would but um now it's like writing. I've just got so many hangups on it ever since I wanted to do it, since I started trying to do it like for more than just a hobby, since I started like since I got reviews on my books and people are like, you're incredible, you're a great author, and I'm like, are you saying that or is it real? And then I get all these questions, and all these questions make me doubt myself, and the doubts build up, and it just gives all this pressure, and I get all messed up. And then Heather died, and ugh, even if I weren't writing erotic, I would still be having problems because of all the other stuff. But add that on top of it, and it's just, I know it's a really ugly face. I can make my face so ugly. It's people tell me all the time I'm beautiful, and that's because it's because you don't see my ugly face come out. My ugly face. That's not really my ugly face. I have an ugly face. I can show you some. I'm too out of it right now to get into it, but um, I don't know. This is kind of like all the stuff that's been on my mind, all the stuff that I've just been wanting to just jammer on about. Anyway, it's like 3 a.m. and I should totally be in bed, but when I'm stressed out, I like go to bed at like 10 o'clock and then I'm up at 11 or 12 and I can't sleep for the rest of the night. I tried to get this doctor to give me some Ambien, right? And I have migraines too. And so he gives me Topiramate, right? And I told the doctor, I'm like, my headaches are positional migraines. Go home, Google it. Topiramate does not work for positional migraines, which I kind of suspected it wouldn't since I had read up on positional migraines and it says that pills don't work for them. You need a specific treatment, which is where they inject your own cerebral spinal fluid into the CSF leak, which is between my C3 and my C4 vertebrae, but the doctor was an idiot, so that was fun. I need to go back to the doctor and be like, look, you're an idiot, but I haven't done it because the whole COVID things I've kind of been avoiding because everybody's like, I can't get surgery, I can't do this. I have a friend who's, dying from kidney stones, I found out recently, and he had to wait like 2 months to go to the hospital and get his kidney operated on. Poor guy. I feel so like kidney stones are the freaking worst. I've had so many. They're horrible. Yeah. Luckily mine are the easy ones, but no good kidney stones. I don't like them. They say they're more painful than giving birth, but I've gotten to the point where I can actually really handle kidney stones. Like they used to be super hard and painful, and I've been in the ER a couple times with kidney stones. Oh my gosh, I cannot talk. And yeah, they're not fun. But now I'm to the point where it's like, oh, it's a kidney stone. I'll be fine. No big. I got this. Yeah. So that shows how like good I am at tolerating pain. Um. Anyway, don't know how that came up. Random neurons firing because I'm tired. So blah. Um. hmm. So I've been thinking about getting an RV because I don't know where I want to go. So I'm thinking about getting an RV because I'm tired of moving. And I've always wanted to live in an RV, but everybody's like, no, you're a single woman. It's so dangerous, blah. And I'm like, do you really want to do it? And it's like, well, now's kind of the time to do it. So next year I might be living in an RV. I'm debating though, because I also wanted to get a house with rentals and stuff. But then I went to do my taxes and it's like, your social security number is wrong again. And then I call the social security office and they're like, oh, it's fine with us. And so you need to talk to the IRS. I'm like, oh, crap. So then I was on hold with the IRS for an hour and 45 minutes and I accidentally hung up my phone on them. After I'd been waiting on hold for an hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, that was great. Uh, Anyway, I had to get my social security number fixed before because this government gave it to a 16-year-old kid. Like, I tried to go to college and I couldn't go because my social security number was messed up. So when we had money, that was something we got fixed. And yeah, I'm really grateful for that. So I really want to go to college. I have a few ideas of things I want to get a degree in. I'm probably going to go into digital marketing though because it makes the most money. But if I was just going for fun, it would probably be animation. Probably go and get a degree in animation with a minor in like film or writing or something. I would love to write scripts for a career. Like I've written 3 scripts and they're actually pretty decent in my own estimation, but it's probably because I don't know what I'm doing. If I knew what I'm doing, I would probably be super picky about it, everything. Um, so it's one of the bad things about studying writing so much is now when I read books, I'm so critical I can't get into the stories. Or I'm like, oh, I can't write like that. That's so good. And then I feel bad. So either way, I'm SOL when it comes to writing. I need to stop doing that. I need to stop. I have this amazing critic in my head. Like it is so good at making things better. But when it comes to things I'm doing, it expects perfection. And I hate that. I hate that my inner critic is always expecting perfection. Um, anyway, what else do I want to talk about? Actually, I didn't even want to talk about half that stuff, but there you go. Um, I don't know. I just ramble when I make videos because I always feel stupid making them, and then I'm like, is that a good ending? Is that a good spot to end? No, it's not. Shoot. Maybe I should just like end it randomly, like just be like right here, just